Snark Squad. Babes, it is Thursday evening.
And we are feeling, honestly, like goddamn villains tonight.
Literally, like the lemon water is on deck.
Right, the lemon water.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Because honestly, it might be vodka spiked. Like, the jokes are flowing tonight, and the delusion is high.
The delusion is astronomically high.
So high. I am operating on, like, a level of petty that I don't even think is legal in most states right now.
Oh, I am completely unhinged tonight. Wait, before we even start, we need to take a moment.
Yes, we do.
We have to talk about New York.
Oh my God, yes. Babes, if you are listening to this right now, have you watched New York Goes to Work?
Because if you haven't, you need to pause this immediately, evaluate your life choices, and go find the archives.
Seriously, she has been like funny, iconic, and just straight up villainous for decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
It is required reality TV reading. We talk so much about the evolution of, the television villain.
Right.
But Tiffany New York Pollard is literally the primordial soup from which all modern reality TV was born.
She really is. I was literally lying in bed last night just staring at the ceiling, thinking about her on that specific show.
Which is a totally normal Thursday night activity for you.
Shut up, it is. But do you remember when they made her work at the pig farm?
Oh my God, the pig farm.
She is out there in the absolute trenches, wearing these massive designer sunglasses, disgusted by literally everything that is breathing.
Yes.
And yet, she still commits to the absolute absurdity of the situation. She gave us pure television gold.
Well, fast food jobs, the ghost hunting. I mean, she carried an entire network on her back.
She walked so every single influencer today could run.
Exactly. And if we, break down exactly why that show worked, from a purely psychological perspective, it really comes down to her complete refusal to break character.
Yes. She never broke.
Never. Because modern reality stars, especially influencers, are hyper-aware of their brand, right? They're terrified of being canceled.
So they constantly self-produce.
Precisely. They want to appear relatable. But New York never wanted to be relatable. She is the ultimate HBIC.
The head bitch in charge.
And she operates from a place of absolute royalty. When you put someone who believes she is literal royalty into a minimum wage manual labor job, the friction is it's incredible.
She refuses to be normal. She doesn't pretend to be grateful at all.
No, she acts exactly how an emperor would act if you force them to shovel manure. It's genius.
It is. Which actually naturally leads me to a massive hypothetical.
Okay, lay it on me.
Look at the cast we have on this current season of House of Villains. If we took them and made them go to work.
Oh, wow.
Right. What jobs would absolutely break them? Let's just start with Tom Sandoval.
Oh, Sandoval. I don't even think he makes it to lunch.
No way. Giving Tom Sandoval a manual labor job is honestly giving him way too much credit.
I want to see Tom Sandoval working the drive-thru at a Wendy's during a lunch rush.
Oh my God, the tears.
Think about his core traits. He is deeply defensive, he lacks all accountability, and he craves constant validation. Just imagine the absolute breakdown when a customer complains that their order is wrong. He'd be defensively over-explaining to a minivan full of kids why their Frosty is melted.
He'd be crying.
He would, talking about how he's a victim of the ice cream machine's toxic environment and how nobody understands the pressure he's under.
I am visualizing the white nail polish clutching the drive-through microphone while he tries to sing to the customers to win them back.
He would completely spiral because nobody's giving him a participation trophy for putting chicken nuggets in a bag.
That is so accurate. But wait, what about Christine Quinn?
Oh, that is dark.
Imagine her trying to work a regular 9-to-5 retail job. Like, she has to fold sweaters at the Gap.
She would physically disintegrate. I mean, Christine's entire mechanism for survival is creating chaos just to distract from her own shortcomings.
Right, she can't just fold a sweater.
Within 12 minutes of clocking in, she would manipulate the shift manager by gaslighting the teenage cashiers into turning on each other.
She'd convince the denim section that the activewear section was talking behind their backs.
Exactly. Just so she could slip out the back door for a 45-minute smoke break. She'd be spitting in people's iced coffees just to even the playing field.
Okay, so true. But my thesis is that there is literally only one person on this cast who actually survives a manual labor show.
Let me guess. Drita.
Drita.
Objectively, yes. Drita doesn't just survive. She takes over the company.
She would be running the entire construction site by noon. She has that raw, unfiltered Staten Island hustle.
She would have unionized the workers by her first coffee breaks.
Literally. Threatened the regional manager for cutting corners on safety protocols and just been double-fisting vapes in the break room while managing payroll.
She is a machine.
Honestly, just thinking about this cast proves my hot take for the evening.
Uh-oh. I feel a hot take coming.
Low-key, babes. This might be our favorite season.
Wow. Okay. I vehemently disagree with that.
What? How?
We're going to have to spiral about this right now because that is recency bias at its absolute worst.
How can you disagree? The dynamics, the betrayals. This season is giving us literally everything on a silver platter.
Because season 1 exists.
Right.
Let's defend the classics, okay? You have to respect the foundation.
I mean, I respect it, but...
Season 1 was a masterclass in psychological warfare because of Omarosa. Nobody has done it like her since.
That is fair. Omarosa is terrifying.
She didn't have to scream or throw things. She just used silence as a weapon. She would look at you and you would fold.
Okay, sure.
And Bobby Lights.
Yeah.
His entire time as supervillain was a chaotic symphony. We had Anfisa and Bananas, which is a cultural reset in itself.
I know.
The cast dynamics were unparalleled because they were figuring out the format in real time.
Okay, yes. Season 1 set the blueprint. I will absolutely give you Omarosa's chilling stoicism.
Thank you.
But the chaos levels this season are completely unhinged. Putting Kate and Sandoval in the same house, the sheer ruthlessness of the early eliminations.
Well, Johnny getting rid of Plain Jane right out of the gate did set a tone.
It proved absolutely nobody is safe.
Sure, but if we're talking about pure, unadulterated ruthlessness, we have to look at season 2.
Oh, don't even bring up season 2 right now.
I have to. Jesse making Wes literally beg for the win. Do you remember the game theory behind that?
It was sick.
Jesse didn't just want to win, he wanted to mentally break his opponent, saying, "Beg me." That is etched into the reality TV Hall of Fame.
And then Wes loses to Safari anyway.
Exactly. The psychological warfare of season 2 was high art. Season 3 has great moments, I admit, but the pacing is off.
How is it pacing off?
Losing a wild card like Plain Jane too early meant the house settled into these rigid alliances way too fast.
Okay, I hear your analytical breakdown, I really do. But I am arguing that the back half of season 3 is pure, unfiltered cinema.
It is definitely picking up.
The storylines are converging perfectly. But wait, before we get into the heavy strategy of this week's episode, we need a domestic moment.
We really do. We need to ground ourselves.
Babes, we made pumpkin scones earlier.
We did.
Because we wanted fall vibes.
Yes, in this economy. We were craving that autumnal aesthetic. There was just something deeply necessary about grounding yourself in domesticity before analyzing sociopathic television behavior.
Literally. We lit a cinnamon pumpkin candle. Bath and Body Works, obviously.
Obviously.
And babes, it was a vibe. The smell, the taste.
It's the absolute juxtaposition of it all that really gets me.
What do you mean?
We are sitting here, right, enveloped in the cozy chaos of cinnamon, nutmeg, and warm pastries, just perfectly curated and peaceful.
Yeah.
While simultaneously preparing to absolutely eviscerate these reality stars, it's giving suburban menace.
It is giving villain. We are embodying the lifestyle.
We really are.
Let's do a drink check.
Yes, let's.
We are drinking water. Pause.
Allegedly.
Very allegedly. Because it might be water. Or it might be gin and tonics.
Hydration is key, whatever form it takes.
And babes, if you know, you know.
Especially when the takes are going to be this dry and cutting today.
Exactly. So let's do a casting moment before we jump into the recap.
Okay, hit me.
If we could bring one person from this season onto the podcast for max chaos, who are we picking?
Objectively. If we want a breakdown of pure, unfiltered strategy, we need Kate.
Ugh, you always go for the strategy.
Because I want to sit across the table from Kate, look directly into her eyes, and find out if she's a clinical sociopath or just the smartest woman on television.
It's a fine line.
Her ability to detach emotionally from the game while simultaneously reading everyone else's emotional deficits is fascinating to me.
No, I completely reject that.
Who do you want then?
I want Drita.
Oh, God.
I want Drita to come into this room and just scream at us. I want her to flip this table.
She would absolutely destroy this studio.
I want her to point a finger in our faces and tell us we are stupid, cumbersome bastards. I want the visceral energy.
The microphones would be shattered.
I don't care.
And I would honestly thank her for the experience, to be fair.
Babes, if you're listening to this, Kate, any of you messy legends, you are welcome on the Snark side.
The door is open.
We love a messy queen. Come drink our alleged water.
Consider the gauntlet officially thrown.
Okay, The time has come. We have to get into it. House of Villains, Season 3, Episode 9, Requiem for a Supervillain.
The title alone is just chef's kiss.
We are down to the final 6, and we pick right back up with the agonizing cliffhanger from last week.
The Sandoval smite.
The Sandoval smite. Kate has the tiebreaker vote.
The tiebreaker to end all tiebreakers. This is where the game shifts from a numbers game to a sheer battle of willpower.
She is sitting on her supervillain throne, holding the power of life and death in this game.
Just looking at them like peasants.
And she finally, gracefully, ruthlessly sends Tom Sandoval packing. Babes, I was pacing my living room. I screamed.
It was strategically inevitable, but we have to analyze Kate's absolute stone-cold delivery here.
It was freezing.
She didn't just vote him out. She performed a psychological autopsy on national television.
Oh my God, she did.
She looks down at him and says, Tom, you say that you've been trying so hard and putting your all into this game, and you've proven that. But even when you do your best, my bare minimum still beats you.
I felt that in my soul. I gasped.
It was lethal.
I actually had to pause the TV and process the sheer gravity of that insult.
Because if we break this down, it is the ultimate read to a reality TV narcissist.
It targets his ego directly.
Exactly. Sandoval spent this entire season playing a terrible, cowardly game. He was functioning as what reality TV strategists call a goat.
A goat.
A player with zero win equity that stronger players drag along because they're easy to beat.
He was just riding Tyson's coattails the whole time.
Pretending he was this strategic mastermind who was secretly pulling strings and preparing to flip the house.
Which he never did.
Never. He kept teasing in his confessionals that he was going to make a big move, and he just complained. That envelope controversy a few episodes back completely tanked whatever credibility he thought he had left.
He's just not built for this.
Kate looked at him and accurately diagnosed his core flaw. His absolute maximum sweat-inducing effort is equivalent to her just waking up and existing.
Okay, but I have to offer a slightly different perspective on Sandoval here.
Defend him. I dare you.
I am not defending his gameplay, but like, is he even a real villain in the context of a strategy show?
He's cast as one.
Yeah, but I feel like he isn't a villain in the mastermind sense. He's just a guy who made an absolute catastrophic mess of his personal life on Bravo, got dragged by the entire internet for a year, and now he's just stumbling around this house looking for a shred of validation.
Oh, poor baby.
He isn't scheming. He's just a sad boy looking for a hug.
Which is exactly what makes him the perfect reality TV punching bag. And frankly, a liability to anyone trying to actually play the game.
That is true. He is a massive liability.
Delusion is a key ingredient for a great reality show, yes, but there has to be agency behind it. He thinks he's of the villain breed, but he's just a nuisance.
A literal gnat in the house.
He wants the prestige of being a mastermind without doing the intellectual heavy lifting.
Right.
Kate sending him home wasn't even a big strategic move. It was just the house taking out the trash so they could finally play the real game.
Wow. Drag him.
And obviously, removing him leaves Tyson completely exposed.
The bromance is dead. 2 Toms, Tyson, and Sandoval out of power in one swoop.
Tyson's shield is gone.
After Tom leaves, you can literally see Tyson spiraling. He lost his #1 guy. His alliance is in complete shambles.
He is a man on an island.
All he has left is New York. And babes, we love New York, but she is the definition of a wild card.
She is not a strategic shield. She is a grenade with the pin already pulled.
Precisely. Tyson is highly analytical. He knows the numbers.
He knows that without Tom, he is the biggest target in the house.
Yeah.
He absolutely must win the supervillain title to survive the week.
Which brings us to the Battle Royale challenge.
Oh, this challenge.
And I must say, this might be the most grotesque challenge the show has ever conceived. Spitting venom.
It was an aesthetic nightmare.
I was physically gagging. I had to look away from the screen.
The visual of them just baby birding neon spit.
Oh, no! Don't even say baby birding. They had to chug these massive pitchers of neon-colored water, sprint across an 80s-themed foam pit, and spit their literal backwash into each other's plastic cups.
We have to remember the history of this show, though. Just a few episodes ago, they were eating dozens of live hornworms.
The producers on this show are deeply unwell.
They are, and I applaud their commitment to psychological and physical torture. It really harkens back to the golden age of gross-out reality TV, like early Fear Factor.
It is giving very old-school Big Brother vibes. At the visual, I couldn't handle it.
In New York, bless her heart.
Oh my God, New York trying to wade across a foam pit with her bright hair clips, spitting this fluorescent water and just immediately getting targeted by everyone.
It was tragic comedy. But if we look at the game design, it is actually fascinating from a sociological perspective.
Really? You're going to get sociological about neon spit.
I am. The objective is to fill up another villain's cup to eliminate them, right?
Okay.
The last one standing wins the power.
Right.
When producers design a many-to-one attack vector like this, it is specifically designed to expose the social hierarchy of the house.
Oh, that makes sense.
Tyson, predictably, gets targeted by the entire house immediately. 4 people are just relentlessly spitting backwash into his cup. He has no chance.
And he has the absolute nerve to complain about it in his confessional.
Of course he does.
He calls it a design flaw of the challenge, the absolute entitlement.
Which is the most whiny, predictable response from someone who just realized their social capital is bankrupt.
It wasn't a flaw, Tyson.
It was working exactly as intended. It's a social game. If you have alienated the majority of the house and you have played a smug, condescending game, of course they're going to gang up on you, especially in a challenge that allows them to do so without any direct repercussions. That is the point. He's just furious because he couldn't manipulate the mechanics of the game.
He hates when he isn't in control.
By the way, there was a hilarious Freudian slip during this sequence.
Hey, what did I miss?
Tyson is threatening Paul before the horn sounds, and he accidentally says, "If you spit one thing in my mouth,"
I died.
before hastily correcting himself to, "in my cup."
If you spit in my mouth, the panic in his eyes when he realized what he said.
It was incredible.
So Tyson is out first, his cup overflowing with neon saliva. Then Kate gets eliminated pretty quickly after because nobody wants Kate to have power again.
Smart move by the house, honestly.
And then New York goes down, which leaves us with the final 3 in the challenge, Drita, Paul, and Christine.
And this, right here, is where the strategy of the season goes from logical gameplay to completely unfathomably irrational.
The mob wives meltdown.
Yeah.
Babes, we have to set the emotional scene here to truly understand the gravity of what happens next.
Please do, because it is heavy.
Drita is already highly emotional going into this challenge. She is missing her daughter Giselle's high school graduation.
That is a massive deal.
If you are a real reality TV historian, if you watched Mob Wives back in the day, you remember Giselle as a literal toddler. We watched that baby grow up on our screens.
True.
And Drita's backstory is intense. She has been playing mother and father to those kids for most of their lives while her husband, Lee, was in and out of federal prison.
So a milestone like a high school graduation is a profound moment for her.
She is carrying a tremendous amount of guilt for not being there.
The emotional stakes for Drita couldn't be higher. She is operating from a place of raw vulnerability.
She wants this win desperately, not just for the game, but for her kid. She wants to be able to go home and say, I am so sorry I missed your graduation, but I won the power today to get us closer to this $200,000 prize.
And logistically speaking, looking at the state of the challenge, she is cruising to an easy win.
Her cup is completely empty.
Paul and Christine both have liquid in theirs. All Drita has to do is stand there and let Paul and Christine battle it out.
And what do these 2 absolute clowns do?
The unthinkable.
Christine and Paul, who are supposed to be in an alliance with Drita, look at her empty cup and decide to even know the playing field.
Just utter madness.
They turn around and start spitting into their own alliance member's cup.
It defies all known logic of game theory. Like, let's really analyze why this is such a catastrophic error.
Please, make it make sense.
Deliberately picking a fight with a mob wives star when you're supposed to be working together is historically terrible gameplay.
Literally the worst.
In any strategy game, whether it's Survivor, Big Brother, or The Traitors, you do not turn on your own numbers just for the sake of abstract fairness.
Fairness does not exist.
Fairness does not exist in a game of deception. When you have the numbers, you protect the numbers.
I was furiously pacing my living room. I am defending Drita's meltdown with my life.
I knew you would.
Because for Drita, it's not just about game mechanics, it's about loyalty. It's the mob mentality. You do not cross your family.
Yeah.
When you have a solid alliance, and one person is emotionally depleted and desperately needs the win for their own sanity, you step back and let them take the win.
Especially when her cup is pristine.
Especially then.
I agree with the emotional read, Danielle, but let's play devil's advocate for a second and look at Christine's underlying psychology.
Fine. Defend the indefensible.
Technically, Christine is playing a self-interested game. She wants the supervillain power. We are down to the wire. There are no redemption challenges left to save you if you get banished.
True. Safety is paramount.
She's probably thinking, if I just make everyone's cup equal, we can start fresh. It's a clean slate.
But her execution is an abysmal failure in social awareness.
Oh, there's zero social awareness. Absolutely zero.
No.
Why do players make these irrational fairness moves? Because they are terrified of making a hard choice.
She didn't want the blood on her hands.
Christine didn't want to explicitly choose to attack Paul or Drita, so she chose to attack both of them slightly, thinking it would mitigate the damage.
But all it does is offend literally everyone.
You do not blindside a woman like Drita with spit and backwash, ruin her chances of winning a challenge for her daughter, and then act completely confused when she wants to physically dismantle you.
Drita is watching her shot at power get rinsed away by neon-colored spit from the exact people she thought had her back.
And the rage builds.
She goes into a full righteous spiral. She starts yelling at Paul, telling him not to cheer for her.
She focuses all her rage, gets Paul eliminated, so it's just down to her and Christine.
The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. And somehow, despite Drita's absolute fury, Christine wins.
Christine literally spits her way to the top. She wins Supervillain of the Week.
It is sickening. The sheer injustice of Christine getting a win, while absolute legends like Tiffany Pollard have 0 challenge wins after 3 seasons, is physically making me ill.
Life isn't fair.
But I have to admit, it is kind of iconic in its absurdity.
It perfectly encapsulates the chaotic energy that this specific season thrives on.
It really does.
The people who think they are masterminds fail, and the people who stumble around making terrible social choices accidentally fall into power.
But the fallout from this win is legendary. Cut to later that night. The house is a sweltering 85 degrees because the AC is mysteriously broken.
Mysteriously. We'll get to that.
Drita is furious about the betrayal in the challenge. She's furious about the oppressive heat, and she drops the line of the century.
Oh, it was magnificent.
She glares at Christine and tells her she is sweating my C-word off.
Art. Hang it in the Louvre.
Shakespeare could never construct a sentence with such raw, visceral impact.
It perfectly encapsulates the unpolished, gritty reality TV we desperately miss from the early 2000s.
Drita cannot be fake. She doesn't know how to self-produce.
She is genuinely miserable in an 85-degree house. She feels betrayed, and she is letting everyone know exactly where she stands.
So we move into the house politics phase of the episode.
The political maneuvering this week was messy.
Christine now holds the supervillain power, and she goes on an immediate, unearned power trip.
What is fascinating is her complete inability to read the room. She is completely clueless as to why Drita is still mad.
The lack of self-awareness is staggering.
She's wandering around the sweltering house, complaining to anyone who will listen that Drita isn't happy for her victory.
Why isn't she happy for me? Because you spit in her cup, Christine. You actively sabotaged her when she was vulnerable.
Meanwhile, off to the side, Kate is giving a masterclass in social navigation.
Kate is always working.
This is why Kate is so dangerous. She effortlessly lounges outside on the patio, siding with Drita, offering a sympathetic ear, and basically narrating Christine's downfall in real time.
Kate is looking directly into the camera like she's on an episode of The Office, just baffled by the sheer stupidity unfolding in front of her.
She has this brilliant confessional where she says, I don't know if Christine is stupid or smart, or maybe a dangerous combination of both.
Kate is so nonchalant, which makes the other players think she isn't playing hard.
They mistake her calmness for passivity.
But she is playing the hardest. She is constantly gathering intel. She is validating Drita's feelings of betrayal, which prominently secures Drita's loyalty to her.
While Christine is out there just aggressively digging her own grave.
And into this chaotic void enters Tyson.
Oh, Tyson.
Tyson sees the massive crack in the Women's Alliance, and he realizes this is his only window to survive.
So he starts meddling. He pulls Christine aside and starts gassing her up, preying on her ego.
He knows exactly what to say to her.
He tells her she needs to start thinking about the end game, about jury management, about who she can actually beat in a final vote.
He subtly implies that Kate is the one manipulating everyone and pulling the strings.
Tyson is desperate. He is throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks.
And the tragedy is, it actually works on Christine.
Because Christine is so desperate to be seen as a strategic player, she swallows the bait whole.
She idiotically turns on Kate.
She has this tense conversation where she tells Kate, you had a choice. Don't start with me.
And then, in a move of pure self-destruction, she uses her power to put Kate and Tyson on the hit list.
It is a profound, unforced error. Let's analyze the board here.
Analyze it because I am lost.
Christine thinks she is making a massive resume-building strategic move by nominating two heavy hitters.
She thinks she is finally the mastermind.
But all she actually did was alienate Drita forever. She pissed off Kate, who's the most vengeful player in the house.
And she gave Kate the perfect opportunity to add yet another survival story to her winner's resume.
Exactly. She painted a target on her own back for the rest of the game.
Which brings us to the banishment ceremony, the ultimate poetic cinema. Babes, I was literally on the edge of my seat.
It was a spectacular sequence.
Joel McHale gives them 30 minutes to plead their cases before the vote. Tyson goes into overdrive.
He corners Paul and starts campaigning, using pure logic. He essentially says, Paul, you cannot beat Kate in the end. She has the best resume. She has survived the block. She has manipulated the votes. You have to take her out now.
Which, objectively speaking, is entirely true. Kate has eliminated all the major threats.
But Kate's counterplea was just as iconic.
Because she doesn't panic at all.
She leans into her villainy. She basically tells the house, look, I've pissed off way more people than Tyson has. I am so much easier to beat in a final jury vote because half the jury hates me.
Which is such a good argument.
She points out that Tyson is a pure gamer, he is charismatic, and he will lie to your face and win.
It is the classic meat shield defense. She is convincing them that her toxicity is actually an asset to their individual games.
But none of that maneuvering even matters, because the greatest reveal of the entire season happens right before the votes are cast.
Oh my God, yes.
Tyson is sitting there, sensing the walls closing in, and he decides to go out with a bang.
He just drops a nuclear bomb on the house.
He casually admits to the entire house that H was the one who tampered with the AC unit.
I would have jumped across the room.
He confesses that he purposely made the house 85 degrees just to torture people and cause psychological chaos.
Drita looked like she wanted to physically end him right then and there.
But here's the absolute genius of the edit. This is the aha moment where the entire season clicks into place.
Break it down.
We have to connect the dots for you listening to show just how deep this goes. Think all the way back to episode 4.
Okay, episode 4.
What was the catalyst for Tyson's downfall? It was Kate finding his secret hit list journal hidden in the living room in the middle of the night.
Yes, because she was awake.
Exactly. Why was she awake? She only found that journal because she was too hot to sleep.
Oh my God.
She was wandering around the house, sweating, trying to find a cool spot, and stumbled upon his diary.
The layers.
Tyson, secretly turning up the thermostat, directly led to Kate getting insomnia. Kate's insomnia directly led to her finding his journal.
Finding the journal gave Kate the leverage to force Tyson to eat 30 live worms to keep her quiet.
Which shattered his aura of invincibility, which ultimately led to the collapse of his entire alliance and his presence on the chopping block tonight.
It is a literal Greek tragedy. Tyson engineered his own destruction. The hubris of it all.
He thought he was playing four-dimensional chess by making everyone sweat, but he accidentally handed the opponent the exact weapon needed to destroy him.
It is absolute poetic reality TV justice. You cannot write a better narrative arc.
He played himself in the most literal sense of the phrase.
He really did.
And then the vote happens. And it's unanimous.
Drita votes him out with absolute pleasure.
Paul votes him out of self-preservation.
But the absolute gag of the century, the cherry on top of this beautiful disaster.
New York votes him out.
The betrayal.
Et tu, Tiffany.
Babes, I was crying with joy. New York votes out her own closest ally in the House because, as she brilliantly articulated in the voting room, actions speak louder than words.
Kate never put New York on a hit list.
Tyson, despite his promises, had her name written down in that very same journal.
The bromance is dead. Tyson is officially banished from the House.
The energy is cleansed.
It is a stunning sequence of events, a masterclass in cause and effect, and it sets up the board perfectly for the finale next week.
It really does. Which means it is time for us to dish out our official awards for the week.
Let's do it. Segment 1.
Villain of the Week. If we are looking at the entire scope of this episode, from the challenge to the banishment, who is taking home the crown,
You go first.
I'm emotionally campaigning for Kate. I absolutely have to.
Predictable, but go on.
Look at what she accomplished. She got put on the block by a rogue, power-drunk Christine. Did she panic? No. Did she cry? No. Did she scramble? Absolutely not.
She just sat there.
She casually lounged around the patio, let Christine look absolutely stupid by digging her own grave with Drita, and survived the banishment vote unanimously while delivering the sharpest, most articulate confessionals of the season.
She was very eloquent.
She didn't even have the supervillain power, yet she dictated the entire outcome of the episode. She is the architect.
I heavily respect Kate's mastermind game, and she is playing a brilliant silent game.
Yeah.
But I am snarkily campaigning for Christine.
Are you actually joking right now, Christine?
Hear me out. I am not nominating her because she is the good villain in the traditional strategic sense.
Because she isn't.
I am nominating her because being completely clueless, betraying your only staunch ally for the abstract concept of fairness, stumbling ass backwards into absolute power, and then arrogantly demanding respect from the people you just screwed over.
I mean, when you put it like that.
That is top-tier, chaotic, unadulterated villain energy. She caused the most emotional destruction this week simply by being wildly ignorant of social cues.
It was a hurricane of stupidity.
And it was fascinating to watch.
Okay, I will give you that she was a hurricane. She left a path of destruction. But Kate is the one building the houses after the storm passes.
That is a terrible metaphor, but I see your point.
We have to agree that Kate is the ultimate mastermind here. She survived the block and orchestrated the exit of her biggest rival without getting any blood on her own hands.
I will concede. Kate takes the crown for Villain of the Week. She is playing chess, thinking 5 moves ahead, while Christine is sitting in the corner trying to eat the checkers.
Exactly. Which flows perfectly into our next award. Segment 2. Worst strategy of the week. Who flopped?
I am immediately, without hesitation, nominating Christine.
Oh, now you turn on her.
Deliberately angering a mob wife's star when you are supposed to be allies is, as we analyzed, historically terrible gameplay.
The worst.
There was zero strategic reason to spit in Drita's cup. She picked a fight with her own alliance. She won the battle of the challenge, but she entirely lost the war, because now Drita will never, ever trust her again.
Never.
Furthermore, she gave Kate a free pass to the finale with a much stronger resume. She completely isolated herself.
I hear your logic, and Christine's move was baffling, but I am going to propose an alternative.
Let me guess. Tyson.
I am nominating Tyson for worst strategy.
Interesting. Defend that.
His strategy was the worst because it was a slow-motion car crash of his own making.
It really was.
His strategy of turning up the thermostat literally caused his entire game to unravel across 5 episodes.
The butterfly effect.
He thought he was engaging in high-level psychological warfare to weaken his opponents, but all he did was give Kate insomnia, which led to her wandering the house, which led to her finding his deepest secrets.
He was too smart for his own good.
Exactly. He over-engineered his game to the point of collapse.
That is an incredibly fair point. The AC sabotage is an all-time strategic backfire. But Tyson at least had a strategy, even if it failed spectacularly due to unforeseen variables.
Christine just acted on pure vibes.
Pure vibes and neon backwash. Her lack of strategy is worse than his failed strategy.
Fair point. We'll give worst strategy to Christine's lack of impulse control.
Agreed. Let's move to segment 3, most iconic line.
Quote it and break it down. We had some heavy hitters this week.
The dialogue this week was truly top tier.
I am putting Drita on the board immediately, sweating my C word off.
It is poetry.
It is unpretentious. It is the raw, visceral reality TV emotion we crave in an era of highly curated influencer speak.
She isn't trying to produce a viral moment.
No, she is just genuinely miserable in an 85-degree house and furious at Christine. The authenticity is what makes it iconic.
It is a fantastic line, incredibly evocative. But the correct answer, the line that will be studied in reality TV history courses, is Kate to Tom Sandoval.
Oh, here we go.
Even when you do your best, my bare minimum still beats you.
It still gives me chills.
If we break this down from a psychological standpoint, Sandoval's entire public identity is built on this illusion of maximum effort.
He is always trying so hard.
He constantly talks about how hard he tries, how much he cares about his friends, how he is always the victim of circumstance despite his allegedly tireless hard work.
Always the victim.
Kate didn't just insult his gameplay in that moment. She insulted his core identity.
She shattered it.
She reduced his maximum output, the thing he prides himself on most, to less than her resting state. It destroys his ego completely. There is no comeback to that.
She eviscerated him. She stripped him down to his absolute foundation and showed him there was nothing there.
Flawless victory.
Okay, segment 4. Final debate of the night. Who's getting played? Let's be messy.
I think we have to look at the silent players for this one.
I am yelling this from the rooftops. Paul is getting played.
Oh, absolutely.
He is sitting there on the couches, stroking his beard, nodding along, thinking he's orchestrating all these subtle moves.
He genuinely thinks he is the puppet master of the house.
But the women are absolutely running circles around him. He is just a number to them.
A literal pawn.
If he somehow makes it to the final jury vote, absolutely nobody is voting for him to win the money.
Nobody respects his game.
New York hates him. Tyson clearly hates him. Drita barely tolerates his presence. He is the ultimate goat being led happily to the slaughter.
You are not wrong about Paul's total lack of win equity. But I would argue that Christine is actually playing herself the hardest.
Playing herself?
She genuinely believes she is a strategic mastermind right now. She thinks putting Kate and Tyson on the block was this massive, boss-level move that the jury will respect.
But she is blind to the social reality.
Completely blind. She alienated Drita. She lost any chance of securing Tyson's jury vote by sending him out the door.
And she gave Kate all the ammunition she needs to formulate a winning argument at the end.
Christine played herself into a corner where she is universally distrusted, and she thinks she's winning. That is the definition of getting played.
She really did build her own trap and walk right into it.
It's tragic, honestly.
What an absolute villain era we are living in right now.
It is the epitome of cozy chaos. Between the gin, the lemon water, the absolute confusion of the game mechanics, it has been a phenomenal ride.
I cannot even fathom that the finale is next week. The stakes are just so high.
So high.
So, babes, I have to ask everyone listening to us right now.
We need to hear your thoughts.
Who is your favorite villain of the season? Do you agree with me that this is the best season ever?
Or are you clinging to season 1 like a person of culture?
Jump in the comments. Let us know your hottest takes.
And as we wrap up, I want you to look in the mirror. Ask yourselves the final, most important question of the evening.
Oh, this is going to be deep.
When we watch these shows and we judge these people so harshly, are we villains or are we just honest?
Oh my God.
Because if we are really telling the truth, I think we all secretly relate to the messy behavior, the petty grievances, and the absolute delusion just a little too much.
Leaving them with an existential crisis before bed, we love to see it.
Do what we do.
Babes, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the show. Send in your submissions and hot takes for next week's finale.
And send this to your messiest friend who urgently needs to understand the cultural and historical impact of Tiffany New York Pollard.
Thank you to the Snark Squad for showing up, drinking the allegedly spiked lemon water with us, and living for the drama. Stay sour.
Stay sinister.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.